Hi there, I'm Jen Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, and I have a super fun finish to share with you today. We're going to be using foils and one of our rollers. Okay, I'm just starting with a black surface. This has actually been primed with our Bondeco black, and I'm going to put a full coat of our Artsyville foil adhesive on the surface. So I've already put some onto a plate where I can pick it up with my roller, just working my roller into it. And then we're just gonna do 100% coverage. It looks like we've got what I call goobers in there, okay? We're to the end of my bucket, so I'm sure that's why. But you wanna put full coverage on your surface, no matter what you're working on. When you are working on a bigger surface, I do recommend getting a roller out as I have. It's going to make the process a lot easier. And then once you have the foil adhesive on, then I'll normally come back and I'll roll all in the same direction and just trying to eliminate as many of my lap lines as possible and smooth it out. Now you can always go over this a couple of times if you need to, just continuing to lighten up your touch, okay, and smooth it out. Foil adhesive normally takes about 30 minutes to an hour minimum to dry. So make sure you let this completely dry. It'll go from looking milky white as it is now to clear and shiny. There's no window of time that you can allow it to dry. So once it gets to a dry, firm tack, it doesn't matter if you wait hours, overnight, days, weeks, it's never going to dry beyond that. So just make sure that it is thoroughly dry. So we're going to give this some dry time and be right back. Okay, our foil adhesive has completely dried, and I have what I call a nice firm tack, okay, which I just want to test. It should stick to you, as far as it's so sticky, it's going to stick to you, but it's a firm tack. It's not anything that's going to come off on your fingers. Okay, so we're going to use our beautiful 14 karat gold foil, and I want to cut a couple pieces to cover the entire board. So I'm just measuring these so that they're longer than the surface. Let's see, is that one going to make it? No, let's cut another piece. And just make sure you, oops, just about blew it there, okay? Want to keep your foil away from your project until you're ready to use it, because that foil adhesive is so sticky, it just wants to grab everything. So let me get my board back over here, okay? And now I'm just going to take a sheet of the foil. So I'm just going to lay that across. You can use just a soft rag to start with and rub the foils into place, okay? And I am going to stay short of this edge here because I don't want to create a very distinctive straight line in the foils. So I'm going to rub up to it, giving it about, I don't know, at least a ½ inch salvage there. And then I'm going to take my scrub brush, which is a plastic bristled scrub brush. I try to find the stiffest bristles I can, and then just rub the surface. Okay, peek underneath, take a look at the transfer you have. If you want more transfer, lay that foil back down and scrub again. And you can keep peeking underneath determining the coverage, and always lay foil back if you would like a little bit more. You can peek from both sides. If you want some of the black peeking through, then leave it as it is. If you're looking for more full coverage, then just continue to lay it back down again. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I'm going to get another sheet and finish off this section. Again, I'm going to start by rubbing it into place. And I want to know where the seam is. That's kind of important, okay? So I know that my seam is right here where it's not sticking to anything. And I like to rub this together instead of using my scrub brush if possible. For the one reason now that I have foil transferred, there's no adhesive here to grab anything. So if I scrub over this section of foil that has already been transferred underneath, it could possibly scratch it. So you want to be careful with your transition and try to just rub those together, and then use your scrub brush from here on over. And then peek, see how we're doing? Transfer again. Okay, there was something on the board there. Couldn't figure out what it was, but we're just going to go for it, okay? Okay, now we have a gorgeous layer of our metallic foil. And at this point, you do not have to wait, okay? The foils are, once they're transferred, you can just go to your next layer, whatever it may be. If you were wanting to just stop and cover this and clear coat it, you could clear coat it now. We are going to use a glaze and one of the rollers. So let's do that next. So I created a glaze using our wall glazing cream and our glazing colors. The color that I used is tobacco brown, and I've just mixed up a batch of the glaze to actually just brush onto the surface. And I'm just going to use a chip brush to actually brush this on. You could roll the glaze onto a larger surface, but I'm just going to use this chip brush and brush this on. You want to have contrast between your glaze color and your foil so that when you break through with the roller, that you'll be able to see the design. So you could go darker if you want it to. This will probably be a little bit more subtle, but I'm putting on a decent layer of glaze here. Making sure the whole surface is covered. I'm going to come back and just straighten up my brush strokes. And actually, we should probably go this way, okay? Because I'm going to have to roll this direction. I'm used to always doing my finishes linear, okay? So let's go ahead and go this direction. Okay, I wanted to actually play with a couple different rollers. So the first one I'm going to show you is going to be the lotus pattern. And I am just going to roll straight through and see how it's exposing that gorgeous foil underneath. And I'm not going to bother even trying to completely line up the pattern. I'm just going to continue to roll through. Okay, I'm getting a little skipping here, and that's causing that bigger gap. So I can either leave that, or I can try and brush over that section, okay? And roll it again. That's the beauty of also working with glaze, is you're not stuck, okay? So don't feel like you've rolled through once and you're absolutely stuck with it. If something goes wrong, you don't like the way something looks. I think I was just pushing too hard and I made it slide. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but that is absolutely stunning. The metallic foil underneath is just coming through. The contrast is strong enough, and that is going to be absolutely beautiful. But let's say that's not your favorite pattern. And let's do this one more time. Now, like I said, Glaze has a lot of open time. We can also use paint with the rollers, but the paint's going to dry a lot faster. So it'd be harder to keep rolling back through if you weren't happy with something. This time I want to try the crocodile pattern because this has always been one of my favorites. And again, I'm just rolling straight, trying to make sure that I am staying straight with each pass. Just wanted to show you guys a couple of different options here. They're both going to be super cool. Ta-da. Okay. Isn't that absolutely cool? Okay, I fell in love with the lotus. So I'm going to do this one more time so that I can actually keep the lotus design. I got so much stuff with crocodile on it. Let's do something a little bit different. Okay, so a trick here, when I'm rolling, I'm looking at this edge and I'm starting off on my tape line, trying to keep my eye on that edge so that I've got a straight line going. And then every time I'm rolling, I'm looking at the previous section. Oops, see, I skipped. It's like I hit something. There might be extra things on this table. But again, this shows you that you're not like ruining your project, okay? So there we go, guys. This is absolutely looking fabulous. Okay, I'm noticing that I'm not as tight together here as I'd like to be. So I'm gonna get rid of that pass, okay? And try to just get a little bit tighter over here. So the designs are closer together. Oops, and I skipped again, okay? See how many times you can do this over and over again? I hope you have enjoyed this. It is totally a fun technique. The foils will complement so many different projects, along with the rollers. Thank you guys for joining me for this fun tutorial. All the materials and supplies will be listed in the description below. And do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.